Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to do color isolation in Photoshop. First, you want to find a photo in Lightroom that has a really bold color for the subject, the main subject, and then just something that's not black and white in the background. And basically we're going to turn a photo like this into something like this. So we're going to isolate the color of the subject, make the rest black and white. You will need both Lightroom and Photoshop open for this project, so I would open them up at the beginning so that it takes less time to load when you're actually working. You can choose a photo from any of your projects so far, but pick something that has good color. So for example, this would be a really good photo to use, maybe one of these, but this would not be a good example because the background is mostly black and white here. You wouldn't be able to see a huge difference. Also, something with a darker subject, something that's a little more neutral, this would be fine, but it may be a little bit difficult to see the color when you isolate the rest because it's not quite as bold. All right, so for this example, I am going to use this photo that I showed you before. And basically, we're going to start with the photo that you already edited in Lightroom, and we are going to move it to Photoshop to do the color isolation. So if you have not already, you need to make a Photoshop folder, save that in your sidebar, and then create a color isolation folder within it. And I will show you how to do that in class if you need to. Then you are going to right click on the photo, or if you don't have right click on your mouse, just hold on Control on the keyboard and Control click to get this little menu. Then you choose Edit in Adobe Photoshop. And wait for that to load. Okay, so that has loaded in Photoshop. Just as a point of reference, we are not going to use Lightroom anymore for this photo, so there's a minimize button up at the top, the yellow button. Click on that to bring it down here. Please don't just pull things off to the side of your screen. I also like to work with Photoshop taking up as much of my screen as possible so that I have a bigger workspace, but I don't put it in full screen mode because it tends to freeze up more when it's in full screen. All right, so what we're going to do in this project is essentially we will make multiple layers in Photoshop. So Photoshop always works with layers, and you can see your layers panel over here. There's only one currently. But to make sense of what we're doing, we will create multiple layers of the same photo. If you think of this as like sheets of paper that you're going to cut out, we would have a black and white copy of the photo on the bottom with a color copy stacked on top of it. Then we're going to use what's called a mask to basically cut out the subject of the color copy, hide the rest of it, and place that on top of the black and white background. So that is what we're going for here, and then we'll save our final photo. All right, so in Photoshop, the first thing you want to do is save your project. So whenever you're working on a photo in here, it is a project. You can go up to the top and click on File, Save As, and that's the very top of your screen, not just the top of the Photoshop window. File, Save As, and you will need to locate your Photoshop folder, which should be over on your sidebar, and click on Color Isolation so that it goes into this folder. You don't need to rename it, and for the format, you can either leave it on TIFF or Photoshop. Either of those two will work. And then click Save. This one already exists because I already did this photo, so I'm going to replace, but you should not have that issue. Okay, then up here it will show your loading progress, and when that's done loading, your project is saved. As you work, you can press Command S to update any changes to that project. All right, let's get into color isolation. So over here, as I mentioned before, you have your layers panel. We need to make a second layer that's an exact copy of the current one. So I'm going to take this background layer and drag it to the plus sign down below and drop it on that plus sign. That will create a duplicate. Then I want this back layer to be black and white. So I'm going to unlock this and go up to Image, Adjustments. Again, that's at the very top of the screen, not just the top of the Photoshop window. Image, Adjustments, Desaturate. Desaturate will make the background photo black and white, but as you can see, you don't see any change on your screen. Over here, you'll notice that the little icon has turned black and white, and then these eyeballs allow you to view or hide each layer. The reason that we don't see a change here on the main screen is because we are looking at the top layer. You always see the top layer first, and then you only see through to the other layers if it's partially transparent or erased. So if we hide the top layer, you can see that the bottom layer is black and white. I'm just going to bring that back so both of these eyeballs are showing. Okay, next up, make sure that you select the top layer, not the bottom layer, so just click once to select it. And then we want to select this orange color here, and we are basically, that's called a color range, so we want the orange and the yellow, but not the rest of this. So to select the color range, we are going up to the top of the screen, clicking on Select Color Range. That pulls up a little thing like this. Yours will probably just be black, but it remembers what I did the last time. We have 3 eyedroppers here. So the first eyedropper will only let you select one color range. So if you click around, it doesn't add to your selection, it just picks up one color. So just click on the main body of your subject with that one. Then the plus allows you to continue to add to your selection, and the minus lets you take away. And you can click on this part or on the actual photo. You are not going to get a perfect selection with this, so I would say get as close as you can, and then you want to try not to get a ton of stuff in the background, and try not to click on any of the white highlights because that will tend to select a lot of other things. I'm okay with this for now. We will fix it up later. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I get this flashing, blinking, it's meant to be a line that goes around your selection. And that just tells me what is selected. Now I want to turn that selection into a mask, which basically is like taking scissors and cutting out your photo and just keeping the selection. The mask button is down here at the bottom of the layers panel. It's this one that's like a white rectangle with a dark circle inside. So with this selection made, I'm going to click on the mask button, and that will make everything black and white except for my selection. You can see that this didn't do a very good job of selecting that color. Yours will probably pick up a little bit more. It just depends on what else is in the photo. But the good news is that I can edit this and perfect it. So over here in your layers menu, a mask, this black and white thing, has been added attached to your color photo. So I'm going to double click on this to be able to edit it. You will probably get a little pop-up that says, that asks you what you want to do, and you want to enter select and mask. All right, now in here, you are probably seeing just your color photo again. The automatic view option is this onion skin one, which doesn't make a noticeable difference. So up here where it says view, change that to on layers so that it looks the way that it will when it's done. Then over on the left side, we have this menu. You can use the magnifying glass to zoom in and out. Zoom in on your subject so you can see it clearly. And then later, if you need to zoom out, you can use that tool as well. Command plus and command minus work as well. Okay, then we have 3 different brushes. The first brush is my favorite because it saves you a lot of time. It's called the Quick Selection tool, and you can choose plus or minus. Plus will add to the selection, so it will make things more colorful. The minus will make things, will take away the color, make it go to black and white. So basically, the plus adds to your selection, the minus subtracts from your selection. You can check the size of your brush by hovering over the picture. See that circle? And then you can change the size up here if you want to make it larger or smaller. Try to make it proportionate to the area that you're trying to paint. So if you're going for a really narrow area, make it smaller. If you're covering a wide area, make it larger. And then I'm going to start to paint over my subject. And the great thing about the quick selection tool is that it automatically finds the edges of your subject and just includes them. So it saves you a lot of time going around edges and being really detail oriented. So I'm going to select as much of the subject as I can with this brush. If it over selects, for instance, you can see a little bit of color got through here. If I accidentally went over this leaf or it just selected it on its own, you can switch to the minus and take it away, or you can press Command Z to undo your last action. So just press Command Z a couple times. So you want to get as much as you can with that brush. If you need to touch up some mistakes, you can switch to the regular brush, which is the third one down, just the brush tool. And you can, this one only paints exactly where you paint, where you move your mouse. So you have the plus and minus, just to show you what it does. If I put it on minus, it draws an exact line where your brush is. I'm going to just go ahead and undo that. So if you have some edges or parts that didn't quite work with the quick selection tool, you can go through with that. Then you just want to touch up any mistakes or things that don't look quite right. You can even zoom out or look around the rest of your photo. If you see any color in places it shouldn't be, use the minus brush to get rid of that. Once you're happy with your selection, you can click OK, and that takes you back to the main menu, or the main view in Photoshop. Look over your photo again. If you don't see any mistakes, then we want to save your changes. We have already saved this Photoshop file, so if you press Command S, that will update your changes, and you can see the progress up here. It says saving 99%. It's a little bit slow sometimes, so you have to wait until that's done saving. All right, so that has updated all of our changes on the Photoshop file, but I can't turn this file in or really do much with it outside of Photoshop. So I need to save a copy as a JPEG, which is like a regular photo file. So go up to the top and press File, Save a Copy. If you ever see the little screen like this, click on the arrow to make it bigger, this little small arrow. And then make sure you're in the right folder. And the biggest thing here is we need to change the format. So the format should be JPEG, not JPEG 2000 or stereo, just regular JPEG. If you don't see these options, you probably accidentally hit Save As instead of Save a Copy. So you would just want to cancel and then do File, Save a Copy. Change the format to JPEG, click Save. And if you get any sort of pop-up like this, just stick with the regular settings. You may get another one asking about compatibility. Just click Don't Show Again and OK. All right, so now we have that project saved. And if I look in my color isolation photo, I can see that I have both the Photoshop copy, which is PSD, or you might see something more like this, and I have the JPEG copy that I can turn in. So that is how you do color isolation in Photoshop. If there's anything that I missed, oh, there's the final product. Okay. If there's anything that I missed in this video, please just ask me. If you are seeing pop-ups that are asking you questions, go with the one that makes the most sense, or ask me and I will tell you which one is best. Okay, that's it for today. I hope this helped you.